Hello, everybody. It is Self-Care Sunday. How we doing tonight? Oops, I forgot glasses. Hang on a second here. There's some glasses. Who's with us tonight? Welcome to Self-Care Sunday. How we doing? How was your Sunday? Good to have you with us as we kick off another week. Another week, people. Hey, Kitty, how are you? Great to have you here. Good to have you here to kick off another week. As we kick off Self-Care Sunday. It is good to have you here. I hope you're having a great Sunday. Tell me about your day. What are we grateful for this Sunday evening, everybody? Tell me about your Sunday. We had a kind of chill day today. That's good, Kitty. I'm glad you had a relaxing day. We chilled for the most part, too. I had a technical issue at one store that I patiently tried to work through, and then I said, the heck with it. You guys can work your day without it. It's fine. Where our Wi-Fi was out today, but they will be fine. Tomorrow is another day. And they still there was still plenty of that stuff for them to do. They just couldn't do pictures today. But tomorrow they can take many. Tomorrow they can take many. So that was our, but other than that, we hung out, we picked through breakfast, our baked goods and stuff from the farm, and kind of we're chilled today, which is nice. Nice way to spend a Sunday. Not a bad way to spend it at all. It's something we all need more of, especially as we kick off week 36 or 37, folks, depending on how we're counting. Week 36, 37 is what we are kicking off here this week, and I'm excited to be kicking it off with you. I really am. It's exciting to be here with you and exciting to kick that off, and I'm glad you had a relaxing day. I'm glad that everybody is just kind of chilled today, which is good. It's a nice way to start the week. Nice way to start the week. And remember, 5 minutes of news is what we're limiting to. That way we don't get overwhelmed with everything that's going on in the world. There's plenty going on out there, and you need to take it in bits and pieces. Bits and pieces. Well, let's get this program started here tonight. Today we start with the Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night. Every night we start with the Good Morning, Good Night book. Tonight we are on page 168, if you're following along. Good morning. Allow for the possibility that the best of you is still inside. You! Waiting to emerge. Prepare the way, bit by bit. Yes. Yes, prepare the way. We didn't get any of the games that we wanted to watch today, Kitty. We were really kind of frustrated. It's been on our list to change TV services, but we were really frustrated that when we went to watch the games that we wanted to watch, we didn't get any of them today. We got all the games that we didn't have any interest in, that we didn't have any that weren't part of our team roster of the house. So we watched a little bit of the Pittsburgh game just to watch a little bit of football, And then we spent some time actually going through TV services to choose our new TV service, which has been on our list of things to do. So we will have another, waiting for our subscriptions to run out this month. But around Thanksgiving, we get to start our new TV service, and we'll get the football, and we'll get the other stations everybody wants, because they've been playing with ours and taking away channels and adding channels we don't watch, and so it's been on our, and increasing the price. So it's been on our list to play with that, and we sat and did that this afternoon. It's not easy, you know. This a la carte TV is supposed to be easier for you, and it's not. It's just simply not easy. So it should be easier than it is. It should be easier than it is. All right, folks. So let's see what's going on in the world a little bit today. There's a lot of stuff going on that I wanted to update you on this Self-Care Sunday. Did you see the recipe of the week? Did you see the recipe of the week? The recipe of the week this week: no boil baked penne with meatballs. No boil baked penne, so not a sweet thing. No boil baked penne with meatballs is the recipe of the week this week, and you can find it in the NARTS Facebook page or at narts.org/resalestrong. REC takes you right to the Resale Strong cookbook, where all the recipes that since the beginning are in there, and now you can add no boil baked penne with meatballs. Hey, that's the real key. Kitty, if you're getting what you want, then that's all good. Hey, Rose, good to have you here. Decorated for Christmas. Can't wait to see what that looks like. Can't wait to see it. Well, in our multi-generational household, we have some different must-haves for TV and everything. So it's it's an interesting thing. It gets interesting. I have a whole spreadsheet on picking TV services of what channels people watch that are sacred cows that we can't be without. So it's an interesting mix looking for TV in our house. I liked this quote, playing off of our, we've been talking music a little bit the last few nights. We've had a little intertwine with music, and I thought, this quote speaks to that. I have a therapist. Her name is music. Remember, music unites. Politics divides. Music unites. Hey, Jennifer, great to have you here. Great to have you here. Pottery Barn. Pottery Barn is unleashing a new service, and they're calling it Wish We Could Decorate For You, We Can. And, they have design services when you want to redo your house and you want to redo your whole living room and everything else. But now they're doing very simple design services. Get a design service to redecorate your mantle, set your table. I mean, really very simplistic. They are reaching out for very simple, small services. We'll deck your mantle, your bed. They're looking at very, very small and simple design services. So it's interesting that it's important to them to get that low. That is interesting. Anybody watch the video I posted, the webinar I posted on sleep? I thought that was really interesting. Hey, Michelle is with us. Yay, Michelle. Great to have you here. If you haven't watched that webinar that I posted, it's really worth your time. A lot of you as entrepreneurs, just by your very nature, are not getting enough sleep. Put the pandemic aside. Just by your very nature of being an entrepreneur and the type of person you are, you don't get enough sleep. And so this webinar on 3 habits that are wrecking your sleep. Hey, Julie Jankowicz, how are you? Great to have you here. So, and Julie, this is perfect for you. If you have not watched the webinar on what's wrecking your sleep, and it's not Charlie's Cabinets, okay? It's not Charlie's Cabinets, although the finished product looked amazing. Amazing. What is wrecking your sleep? So, if you have not watched... No, Rose, it's not something to be kidding about. It's a real thing because, I say all the time, who needs sleep? Sleep's for the store that comes in second. You've heard me say that. You've heard me say that. That's why this webinar is so important. That's why I asked to be able to share it. Because I thought it was so valuable for you as business owners, you as entrepreneurs, to just get a little insight into what's wrecking your sleep. Okay? And there's a few key things. There's always things. One of the things, that I always say is put your phone on, we leave our phones on the other, I do anyways, leave my phone on the other end of the house at night. So I don't have it there, and I don't read my email typically late at night before bed. Is one of the things, because I know no good comes of it. No good comes from reading my email on the way to bed. Okay? But one of the key topics talks about releasing your energy throughout the day and making sure that you're releasing your energy throughout the day. It is really good, Michelle. You should watch it, or at least listen to it in the background. Okay? You don't have to actually watch her talking, okay? She's very good. Okay, another thing, and I don't know that I'll ever get it right, that she talks about is breathing, okay, and how we breathe throughout the day and how that affects it. And another takeaway, hey, Nebraska Angie's here. Good evening, Nebraska Angie. But another takeaway that I'll add to it is planning. And what do I mean by that? Okay, so as you finish your day, taking a period at the end of your day to plan your next day. Okay, to plan your attack for the next day puts today at rest, okay, and puts your mind at ease for tomorrow because you have a plan for it. That doesn't mean everything is going to go perfect tomorrow, but you have a plan of what you plan to accomplish. And I'm always much better when I have my week and my days planned, okay, as far as what I plan to accomplish on each given day, okay? When I do that, I am in a much better shape to be able to accomplish those goals. And breathing all while holding your breath. See, I don't think that's the way she intends to do it. You should take this in. You're a perfect example of someone who needs to listen to this video. Jennifer, you're a perfect example. A perfect example. Okay? You're an absolute perfect example of the type of business owner who needs that video. Okay? So that we can be better. And that's why I posted it, okay? And why I asked to, because it was so important. So I've done it twice. Sandra's like, you really listened to that? You really took time out of your day to do that? And I'm like, yeah, I did it twice. And that doesn't make me perfect at it. Change of habits and process are a slow thing. But... Yes, nervous Nellie of Naples. Okay, but getting some of these things into your mindset is a good thing. So, helping yourself get to that better mindset. Hey. But I'm going to cover that next. I'm going to cover charting your week. And, well, I'm sorry you're not going to get to serve on a jury, but I'm glad you wanted to do your civic duty, Julie. I'm sure you've heard me tell my story many times of serving on a jury for over a month. When they put me on a jury, can you imagine that? Somebody wanted me on their jury. They said, ooh, that guy's the guy we want. On a jury that went for more than a month. More than a month I was on a jury. I haven't been invited back since. But it was an experience. It was an experience. And I'm really glad I did it. So I've got another thing for you to consider tonight. So as we're dealing with Self-Care Sunday, today is all about you. Today is all about you. I've got piles of other stuff to cover and really important stuff that we need to cover. There's actually a lot of really important stuff that's going on in the world to cover. Yeah, I mean, once you've served on a jury, it really is incredibly meaningful, okay, to have that impact on everything else. The thing that worries me with a future jury is actually, as a bunch of jurors, our jury clicked. I mean, we were on it for a long time. I mean, I know these tops, but we were on it for so long, we all really got along really well and really clicked. We were having potlucks. We were working on projects. I learned how to knit a little bit. I had a nifty knitter that I brought. We all brought things. We had to walk through. Our jury room was on the other side of the courtroom, but we had to go through the courtroom each morning. The bailiff escorted us when we got there. He had escorted us from the jury parking area when we all got there together, and he would escort us through the building and through the courtroom into our jury room till we were called to see the case. And one day my thing to bring for it and everything for our jury was popcorn. And I had this big thing of popcorn that I brought, and I carrying this in like this, a huge big bag of popcorn. And the court reporter, who was this old school secretary, everything, and who sat there silently during all of this. She was at her thing, and I watched as she sees me with this huge thing of popcorn. She lost her cookies. She just burst out laughing so hard that I showed up with popcorn. And it wasn't meant for that. It was just part of our snacks. We all did potlucks. We had a heck of a... We did good. We did good. That's good, Rose. I'm glad you're taking the day off. It's okay, as long as you make time. Well, we were knitting, and he didn't see me knitting. He didn't see me knitting. And it was jury duty was interesting. It was an interesting experience, Michelle. I mean, I had to find ways to occupy my day. Because so often as jurors, we'd be sent off to while the lawyers argued if we could hear something or not hear something. So we'd get in our seats, then they'd decide to say something, and they'd have to argue about it for a while, and we'd go back to the jury room. It was just a constant back and forth. That's the part I'm like, if they had done all the arguing when we weren't around, it would have been much easier. So back to my self-care. Okay, for Self-Care Sunday. So, I've got the sleep video in there for you, and that's so important. I got our recipe of the week. No boil baked penne with meatballs in there for you. I got all that for you. Okay, and then the next thing I got for you. The next thing I thought was just very timely that I got today. And it's a story about Michael J. Fox. Okay, and those of you that know Michael J. Fox or follow him, I mean, I feel like I grew up with Michael J. Fox, okay, on Family Ties, Alex P. Keaton with the suit and the briefcase, okay, and everything. I loved watching Alex P. Keaton and Michael J. Fox, but he has Parkinson's, among other things, and has had a variety of issues over the years. And he's coming out with a new book, No Time Like the Future. And it talks about his newfound, uniquely upbeat brand of pessimism. And what it deals with is really what we deal with every day. When it comes to living with uncertainty, the title of this, the headline of this article is, and it will be posted later on, so you'll be able to read the whole article because I want you to read it. When it comes to living with uncertainty, Michael J. Fox is a pro. Okay, Julie's got brownies. Brownie break. Brownie break. Oh, we have bread pudding tonight, Julie. Bread pudding tonight. So Michael J. Fox had surgery. So he's got Parkinson's. Then he has surgery to remove a benign tumor on his spinal cord. Then 4 months later, he falls in his kitchen and fractures his arm so badly that it had to be stabilized with 19 pins and a plate. And mired in grueling back-to-back recoveries, he started to wonder if he had oversold the idea of hope in his first 3 memoirs. His first 3 books were titled Lucky Man, Always Looking Up, and A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Future. He thought one day he thought, what have I been telling people? I tell people it's all going to be okay, and it might suck. His solution was to channel that honesty into a 4th memoir, No Time Like the Future. For an example of his outlook, consider his perspective on traveling by wheelchair. It can be a frustrating and isolating experience, allowing someone else to determine the direction I'm going. Think about that. The direction you're going in business. Okay, you've got no control of some of the things in the direction. And the rate of speed, you've had no control of the rate of speed of change this year that you can travel. The pusher is in charge. From the point of view of the occupant of the chair, it's a world of asses and elbows. No one can hear me. To compensate, I raise my voice, and suddenly I feel like Joan Crawford in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, barking out orders. Generally, the person in control is a stranger, an airport or hotel employee. I'm sure that if we could look each other in the eye, we'd recognize our mutual humanity. But often in the wheelchair, I'm luggage. I'm not expected to say much, just sit still. No one listens to luggage. Before his spinal surgery, he was working on a book about golf. Then life happened. I started thinking about what it meant to be able to move and express myself physically, to have that taken away. He delves, no time, hang on there. I want to find the other quote that I want to. The guiding principle for his new book, Velocity and Truth. Velocity and Truth. Keep it honest and keep it fast. I don't want to be the guy who's sitting on the pillow telling people, be the ball. I'm not going to tell anyone about anything other than my experience. And I got no time for small talk. Hang on a second. I want to find the other quote that I wanted. I wish I had time to go through this with a highlighter beforehand. One of the things he gets a lot of is letters from Parkinson's patients wanting to know what miracle drug he's taking. There's no miracle drug, it's just who he is. He's 100% him. He used to be a believer in making lemonade out of lemons, but now he writes, screw it, I'm out of the lemonade business. My mother used to say that, I'm making lemons out of lemonade. I mean, lemonade out of lemons. It's a thinking person's book. So this book is a thinking person's book about how you continue to find meaning through hard things. We continue to find meaning every night here. Every night together we find meaning. We find what we're grateful for. We find greatness in our sadness and in our triumphs. Okay? This book is how you continue to find meaning through hard things. And this is good. Julie, take this quote. Optimism, okay, and Julie's an internal optimist. Optimism is informed hope. You've been given something, you've accepted it and understood it, and then you have to pass it on. Optimism is informed hope. Wow, his foundation's raised more than $1 billion in Parkinson's research in 20 years. His father-in-law, who died in 2018, had a trademark assurance. Just wait, kiddo. It gets better. And one more, Julie. One more for you. With gratitude, optimism becomes sustainable. With gratitude, optimism becomes sustainable. This full article on his new book from the New York Times will be in Nart's private Facebook group within the hour. It'll be at narts.org/resale strong by noon tomorrow. See, as we self-care Sunday, as we find better sleep, as we find that with gratitude, optimism becomes sustainable. Okay, and as we learn that brownies makes the world go round, here I see what we are taking away from this evening. Brownies. It is an amazing article. It sounds like an amazing book that is coming out soon because it is sustainable. I've talked about this as a marathon. This is not a sprint. Okay? And with gratitude for all this, for all the blessings we do have through this, for all the unique opportunities we have through this, with gratitude, optimism becomes sustainable. Okay? And we will have Julie's brownie recipe as next week's recipe of the week. Okay? But you can make brownies and vanilla ice cream tonight if you want to. We're going to have, what are we calling this? Apple pie bread pudding. Apple pie bread pudding is our dessert tonight. Maybe a la mode. Apple pie bread pudding a la mode. Maybe with a little Cool Whip. But that is what this is all about. That is what... Hey, Rose, you bet you it is. You bet you that laughter is good. But that is part of Self-Care Sunday, too. So we've got sleep. We have got sleep tonight. We have got gratitude. Optimism becomes sustainable. Michelle, you are not the same Michelle that was here in March. You are not the little feeble Michelle that I was dealing with in March. You are a warrior, a gladiator, Michelle. Okay, you are not the same Michelle you were in March. If you were still the same Michelle you were in March, yeah, this would really be bad, what your governor is doing. But you are not. You are a gladiator. You are such a strong woman. Such a strong woman. You have got this. You've got a little something extra in your brownie tonight. You've got this. You're going to slay it. You don't have the same website you had in March. You don't have the same store. You are not the same person. Yes, hear you roar. You weren't doing the videos you were doing in March the way you're doing them now. You didn't have the audience that you had then that you have now. You are not the same person. You've got this, Michelle. Yes, Rose is making you brownies and sending you wine. Like you couldn't get some of the wine next door. Rose is sending you wine and brownies. Boom! You've got this. You have got this. And you all are gladiators. You are all there. Self-Care Sunday is about taking care of each other. We are doing that here, the circle. The circle. You've got this. You are strong. You are a gladiator. You are a gladiator. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for who you are and who you become and who you will continue to be. That is how we roll on Self-Care Sunday, people. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of real life here. I've got a whole bunch of it, but this is more important. You are not alone running this store. Julie is right. Julie is right on. And it's not just because she's eating brownies. You are right on. Boom. You got this. You've got this. You know? Yeah, you. We are survivors. We got the eye of the tiger. We got Gloria Gaynor. As long as I know love, I know I will survive. And you know it. You know it. You know the love of your peers. You know the love of this group. You know the love of Self-Care Sunday. You just needed to tune in live tonight, Michelle, and feel the love. Okay? You are a survivor. You are. We all are. And brownies make us survive a little bit more. I had a brownie. I will admit I had a brownie earlier. We had brownies for breakfast. Right? We did have brownies for breakfast. We had brownies for breakfast. Whoa, I got an, come on here, computer. Why is that giving me an error there? So we did have that at breakfast time. We were there for it. We can do this, okay? Because with gratitude, optimism becomes sustainable. Because we're all here together, Michelle. We're all here together. You are not alone. We can do this. Because we have gratitude. This isn't just phony optimism. This just isn't Neil with a bunch of smoke blowing fairy dust at you, okay? With gratitude, optimism becomes sustainable. With gratitude, optimism becomes sustainable. Okay? We can do this. Okay? We aren't making lemonade out of lemons. Okay? We are making and evolving, and we are creating a new lemon. Okay? We are creating new lemonade. We're creating pink lemonade. Okay? Resale lemonade. We are doing something different. You are not the same. Okay? You are not the same. You are more knowledgeable, more better. More better, that's the term, right? Grateful gladiators. I've read that somewhere. Grateful gladiators. Grateful gladiators. I read that somewhere. Well, fairy dust is, but it's good fairy dust. It's realistic fairy dust. Okay, Michelle? It is realistic. Fairy dust is good, but it's realistic stuff. I am not telling you... I am not telling you something that isn't. I am not saying things for the sake of saying them. I don't say anything I don't believe. Okay? And if you don't know that about me by now, well, shame on you. Neil follows and says what he believes. Neil follows and says that. Okay? Have time to make up niceties. I'm not good at it. It's not. I don't do the fake stuff. It's not how I roll. Not how I roll, people. But I am thrilled for you. I am thrilled for where we are. I am thrilled for this Self-Care Sunday. So watch the video. If you have not watched the video already, watch that video on sleep. Watch that video on sleep. We all need it. I'm going to probably watch it again. Okay? Because it takes repetition. Many hands make light work. Absolutely. But that video is valuable. Watch it. Okay? Read this article on Michael J. Fox's book. Maybe we'll have to get Michael J. Fox's book and quote passages out of it. His new book is, we called it, what is it called again? I had the, No Time Like the Future. No Time Like the Future. Okay? No Time Like the Future. Okay? Take that article in. There is a lot of good stuff. There were a lot of quotes in there. I thought of you, Angie. I thought of Julie. I thought of this group. That when I read that in the New York Times, I thought of this group, and I hopped on the computer and scheduled it right away so it would go up live tonight in the NARTS private Facebook group. But it'll be over at narts.org/resalestrong by noon tomorrow. So will this video. This video will be there by noon tomorrow. Everything I talk about, everything I quote, it all is at narts.org/resalestrong by noon the very next day, including the recipe of the week. This week's recipe, no boil, baked penne with meatballs. Next week's recipe, Julie's brownies. Okay, Julie's magic brownies will be next week's recipe. Okay, you're all drooling over it already. Next week's recipe is Julie's magic brownies. But it's all there to keep you guys organized and so that you can share it with everybody you know in business. Everybody! We want to get everybody across the finish line. Butcher, baker, candlestick maker, and don't forget we added farm to the list of businesses we've helped through this. Physical therapists, nail salons, hairstylists. What other businesses have we helped? Hotels. Realtors, landlords, cities and towns. I mean, I've lost track of all the businesses. We're going to have to work on a list of everybody that we've helped through this. Restaurants, countless restaurants that we've helped through this, just all the different industries. But share it so that we can help everybody get to the other side. Everybody get their gratitude, optimism becomes sustainable, because it is not a short winter. It's a long. There's a reason they call it a long winter. But with gratitude, optimism becomes sustainable. I am here every night at more 8 than ish. More 8 than ish. Who could have thought? Who could have thought? You guys thought. Way back in March, you asked for a time and we gave it to you. And then it became more 8 than ish, the saying. Hey, Anita's with us. But if you have a question in between, or you have a question about your specific situation, don't hesitate to ask it. We know a lot of things are beyond asking a question in a live group. Email me your personal question. I answer it. I don't share it. I don't call names in this group unless you want me to. Unless you as the giver want me to call your name. But the stories and the struggles are real, and so are but the solutions are real too. Just email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. Make sure you include your email address, your phone number in the email in case I have to give you a call. We start this program, even on Self-Care Sunday, where we have the recipe of the week. We start this program with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start every night. Tonight we are on page 168. 168. If you were not here at the top of the program, our good morning tonight is good morning. Allow for the possibility that the best of you is still inside you, waiting to emerge. Prepare the way, bit by bit. Our good night tonight is good night. Allow for the possibility that the best stuff is still ahead of you, waiting to reveal itself. Prepare the way, bit by bit. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, possibly an inauguration. I didn't get invited to the last one. Don't think I'm going to get invited to this one, but who knows? The world is a strange and mysterious place. But I do know that tomorrow I'll be back at more 8 than ish, and until then, know that you, and most especially you, yes, you, Michelle, you, the one that's waiting on brownies, you're not alone running this store. I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. It's time for dessert. Have a great night.